Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IDL. My name's Nick, and what you're about to hear is a campaign known as The Ancients. Now, this is a campaign that the IDL streamed in the year 2020 that never got a release anywhere else. I was originally going to make it a podcast, didn't get around to actually releasing it or anything because the campaign had an abrupt ending and we never finished. We got close to the end, so we have quite a lot of backlog here that I thought, hey, you know what? This is still fun material. Let's release this still at some point. And you might be wondering, well, what makes it relevant right now? Why go back and listen to this? Well, if you're familiar with our flagship show, Gluttony Earth, this is actually the campaign that started that world. Now, there's going to be some differences in how the world works. You're going to listen to me ramble on about how the world works in the start of this episode. However, you can ignore a good chunk of that. We reformed the lore of the world when we made Gluttony Earth. So think about this as the adventures you're about to listen to that star Endien, and Silas, and their companions Kala and Marco. These are their stories that you can still say, hey, that's canon in Gluttony Earth. It's just the metaphysics of it all has changed a bit. So there are some differences in how that works, but should be a good listen overall. Again, it's going to cut off at some point in the narrative where we don't get to listen to certain points. And when we get to the ending, I'll pop back in and let you guys know what happens between the Ancients and Gluttony Earth. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this campaign, and there's minimal editing. I didn't want to do too much to it because it was a streamed show, and this is more like a fun side project for me to re-release this into the world. So I hope, again, you enjoy this. And have fun. Now to the episode. In the ancient times, there used to be different planes of existence, and for whatever reason, unbeknownst to anyone now, all of those planes have merged into one. So it's all been everything kind of got forced into each other, and it caused a lot of havoc and destruction. And since then, it's been an undetermined amount of time, years, centuries maybe, since then. And the world's kind of grown based off this now. So in this new world, technology is more advanced. It's a more advanced society based off of old mythos, not like a Shadowrun where it's like matrixy, post-apocalyptic kind of like cyberpunk, but just more of an open It's more open technologically. You might see things like cell phones. There might be a TV. There might be limited internet-esque access, things like that. So, I mean, I'm not going to list out just everything that you might find. I mean, you might just ask, hey, does this thing exist? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You can have that. You have a cell phone or something like that. You don't have FaceTime, though. Things like that. So that's how that is.
So
yeah. What?
If there's internet,
there's limited internet concepts. So
would there be
with
a Twitter?
Not exactly. So the thing is, the way this world is established, because of just the way this world was formed, there is now basically a collective, an international organization called Librarians, and a librarian is essentially a professional adventurer, and they're kind of like, in a way, like the custodian of knowledge. There's just so many unknown artifacts, unknown past civilizations, unknown regions, and like architecture, and just so much out there that is not really understood or known why it's there or what existed. And it's kind of people's interest in like finding these things and trying to rediscover the world and like make sense of it all. So the librarian is a pretty well esteemed position, but it's not easy to get your license to become a librarian. And when you have your license, you get access to a lot of things. International, it's like essentially an international passport, limited diplomatic immunity. It can function in other ways, such as it's easy to access for certain records of yours, and you can use it to access databases. And that's where the internet comes in. Those databases are kind of networked through a mix of technology and magic, and you're able to access those at certain, like through computers, basically. Basically computers is what I. So you do kind of have some kind of access, but not the internet that we know it as. So yeah, there's different nations. Overall, there's peace. Not a lot of like big warring. A lot of the countries might be hostile or not friendly, but because of the Librarian Association's position in the world, there's like a tentative, like, I want to say like false peace. There's not like you're not worried about war necessarily breaking out right now. Nothing like that. So that brings to how do you get your license to be a librarian, your library card, if you will. It's the only time I'm ever going to refer to it as that. I wanted to get that out of my system now. So how do you get that? There's multiple ways. Basically, you do have to take a test through the Library Association to get this kind of position. You can figure out how to do that on your own. You can train for it on your own. You can try and get that access on your own. However, it's going to be significantly easier if you have the assistance of a current librarian, someone who already has a license, who knows how to train people and what it takes to do this kind of stuff. One such person is Leoric C. Salvador, the captain of the airship known as the Cyrus, and he takes in students to basically be apprentices to teach and train to get their library's card, their license. So, yeah, so in that sense, some of these people do it on their own accord. Some people have different reasons, like they do big, massive schools where you can pay to try and do it. Some people only take certain people that they know, or some might do as much as like 100 students. Some might have as few as like one student. Yeah, so on the Cyrus, for instance, Leoric C. Salvador doesn't take money. He only trains people who he thinks are worth it. He thinks has impressed him to some degree, thinks that there's at least something there for them. They have like the spirit of an adventurer. They just have they have a hidden potential. Just something to show to him that there is a reason this person can carry on as a librarian. And it's dangerous work. So it does take a lot of training, a lot of like figuring out how to do this. Because otherwise you could just, if you didn't have this kind of passion, you could just be an office worker. You could just be a cook. You could just live a normal civilian life and it'd be fine. So basically, if you're going to be a librarian, it's there to be, it's basically you have a goal. You have a reason you're trying to get this license. Whether or not you want to explore the world and see new places, like our PC Marco, or if you are looking to find new creatures you've never seen before, like our PC Endien. Perhaps you just want the
unlimited access to the world. It grants you like Kala, or you are searching for something specifically, and the way you're able to find your way around to hunt for this is through a license like Silas. And so that brings us to the Cyrus. So it's a few days ago, really stormy, really bad storms. The Cyrus had been docked on the coast of a country, an elvish country. And from there, he picked up his final and last Leoric picked up his final and last student that he's gonna have. So I'm gonna kind of rewind time from that point. 3 weeks prior. Marco, describe your character.
So Marco is basically that like nerdy high schooler kid that doesn't really know what he's doing, why he's doing, when he's doing. His parents are really, really, astute, basically hyper nerds. They work in archives specifically. They work in an actual library. So he's been kind of raised in this environment that prizes knowledge above all else. And his parents had kind of raised him to lead in their footsteps, basically. Whoa. What?
Yeah, you disappeared for a second.
Oh no. Okay. I was not aware of that. Alright. So, say that again. Like, what do you want me to talk about?
No, yeah, just describe. You were in the middle of describing, and then you, disappeared.
Right, okay. So, super tall. This boy is a stick. He's got that kind of long emo hair. Early 2000s. He doesn't really stick out in a crowd. Even though he's a half-elf, his mother wasn't very charismatic, so he didn't get a lot of that passed down. So he's very awkward around people, and he's just really secluded. But his kind of, should I say his mission and everything, or kind of how?
You don't have to do that. No.
Okay.
So Leoric, he's on his journey to the Kingdom of Four Seasons. He stopped by because he knows your family, and through interactions, you showed up with a specific guitar. What was the name of the guitar?
Celestian.
Celestian.
Celestian, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, Celestian. So he saw you with that, and the way it was interacting with you and reacting to you. And you don't know necessarily why that intrigued him, but he offered to take you on board the Cyrus to become a librarian. And your parents accepted, and he took you on. From that point, he was going to the Kingdom of the Four Seasons, which is a kingdom near the Elvish nation, one of the Elvish nations. And it is specifically a more reclusive, remote kingdom run by Eladrin. A lot of Fae-type individuals live there, whether that's Eladrin or centaurs, things like that. It's more natural. It's got a lot of nice natural wonder to it. So from that point, he basically gave you a large stack of books and said, just read those. And from there, he kept interacting with the king and queen, because they wanted him to take their youngest daughter on to be trained as a librarian, and he kept rejecting until he had a moment where the daughter showed to him a fire, basically a desire for something more, and so that's where Endien came in. So describe your character.
Endien is the youngest of 4 daughters to the King and Queen of the Four Seasons. They each represent their own season. She represents autumn, and it has been tasked with, because she isn't next in line to become queen or to take head of the court. She's been tasked with caring for the beasts of the Four Seasons forest. She, in typical garb, she wears a long flowing gown it's kind of the purple of like maple leaves in the fall. It's not like a deep purple, but kind of that reddish purplish kind of color. And she has long brunette hair and wears a circlet of branches that intertwine with each other, but they don't have any leaves on them currently. She carries herself very nobly. She is like a very typical noble princess, but spends most of her time in the forest amongst the beasts there. And she also has a barn owl named Nyra.
Right. So from that point, he also invited you on, and he also gave you a large stack of books and said, "Here, read this." And then on your way to, he said he had a specific destination he was heading to, but in the meantime, he basically gave it to you guys to read all of these books. I want to know, I guess, a little bit of interaction. Like, you're both on this ship now. So on the ship is Leoric, and he's got about 9 to 10 crew members who run his airship. But beyond that, he doesn't have a whole lot of passengers, usually. But, you know, his main two passengers at this point are Marco and Endien. Do you have any initial interactions, or what?
I feel like Marco, as soon as he sees Endien like come on, he immediately recognizes like, oh, this must, like, because he's made to read a lot about other countries, the surrounding countries, and know their knowledge, because that's, you know, he's been raised to basically know everything. So he at least recognizes enough to be like, that, the dress, the crown, she must be a noble, and he hightails it. He like grabs whatever books he was reading, whatever he was highlighting, grabs Celestian, like hits it on the doorway, like running out of the room she's coming into, and kind of like skitters away, like terrified. He is like intimidated.
While Endien would be very interested because she hasn't seen, because she's been around nobles who are like very charismatic and confident with themselves, and then she sees a half elf that's very shy and runs away all the time, so she's constantly trying to figure out more about him.
Okay.
Yeah, before he runs away. But
so Marco might be sitting down for a meal, and then Endien purposely sits next to him to watch him run.
Yeah, it was like she wants to try like ask him questions, but he just runs. So it's like, well.
It's like he like chokes on his food, like coughs a little bit, and like quickly like he starts eating really really fast, and then grabs whatever notes he was looking over while he was eating, and like gets food everywhere, but it's only on himself. So he's just like running out with like water stains, food stains. He's a mess.
And the crew there, every single time this happens, the crew's like, not again. More to clean up. Every day, spaghetti sauce everywhere.
His knees are weak, his arms are heavy.
Yeah.
There's stains on his sweater. Mom, spaghetti.
Yeah. So you guys land. He basically he lands on an island, partially to stock up, but also just kind of, he has some people he's visiting on the way there. And at that point, oh shoot, I forget. He knows people there. He's interacting with them. He's denying more people the right to join him. Right. A lot of people come. A lot of people ask. He knows a lot of people. He's a professional librarian. He's been around. Not a lot of people just outright own their own airships to the point that he does. So, like, the actual freedoms he has to move around, he gets places. One such area, he has some nobility who he's visiting that he knows, and their son basically asks to join, and he outright refuses. However, as soon as you guys leave, like a day or two later, there is a stowaway on the ship. He confronts the stowaway on the deck, and shoot, I forget. He does. Let me look at something. I forgot exactly what I said. Happens. Let me look. Because I asked for.
Look at the notes.
I gotta look at my notes.
It's like Marco sneezes. What's wrong with notes? Notes are good.
Oh, it's not written where I thought it'd be written. Oh no. Okay, yeah. So he basically duels, and then lets the stowaway stay, and that's where Silas comes in. So if you'd like to describe Silas.
Okay, never mind. So Silas he's pretty tall. Like he would be what? 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
Black hair, green eyes. He's a little bit tan, being on an island. He's a noble, socialite. Very. He can be very talkative, but his parents are very overbearing, and that's why he wants to be a librarian. So, yeah.
Let's see here. So, there's the three of you. How would you interact with these folk? You got a stowaway, who Leoric, instead of just dropping back off at the island, allows to stay. And it's been about a few days going on this ship before you guys land again on the coast of another country. And how do you guys think you guys would have interacted? Oh yeah, he basically just gives you also a stack of books and tells you just to read them.
Well, I mean, I assume since Marco is afraid of nobles, I would just be talking to Endien.
Okay, well, so what I was thinking is that since you're kind of like everything Marco, like you kind of look like Marco, you're as tall as him, you have the same hair as him, like you're a half elf like him, but you carry yourself with like such confidence. I feel like Marco will kind of look towards you a little bit. He'll try tell you good morning at least, because even though he knows you're a noble, he's like, maybe it's like it's not a princess and it's not like a full elf, so like maybe I could just kind of.
If I look hard enough, I will be him.
It's like if I just get this disguise spell right, I can be him.
I can take his identity and be cool.
Identity theft is a crime, but I'm a criminal now. Nah, Marco's just kind of trying to figure out the best way to come out of this shell. So even though he's way, way too nervous to talk to Endien, he's kind of. He tries to at least say hello to Silas, and if Silas enters the same room as him, he, curls up a little bit, but doesn't run away.
Okay. How about Endien? Endien, another half-elf, has joined the ship.
Yeah. So, and seeing that, Marco at least say hi to Silas, I still just be like, wow, you've gotten him to talk to you. I can't even get him to sit still for more than a second. I have so many questions about half-elves.
I mean, if you have any questions about a half-elves, I can answer them for you. Well, if you have anything specific about Marco, do I know his name? I assume so.
I assume so. Leoric probably be like, yeah, I've got two other students, Endien, Marco.
Okay. And if you have any questions about Marco himself, I could try ask for you.
Well, first off, what makes you... I guess I want to ask, why do you think you have time to be on the ship? As I know, your life span is shorter than those of a full elf.
Well, since you have your life way ahead of you. Why are you wasting your time on this ship?
Well, I have a lot of time to use. I might as well get the
Then why
knowledge that
waste
I
it on
can.
this?
There is no waste when I have plenty of time to use.
I assume someone with a lifespan as yours would use their time differently.
Well, I have plenty of time to learn everything I need to learn and still have time left over to use that knowledge.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Okay. Speaking of coming out of their shell, you guys land on the coast. You guys are almost basically where he wanted to go in the first place, with Marco and Endien, and now Silas. But on the way there, you're basically on the coast of an elvish country. It's near neighboring another country, which is basically known as the Beastlands. And the Beastlands are a country that primarily have beast folk in a way. A lot of the animal races kind of unified into one country, just because they have such a different way of life than some of the other humanoids. It's just easier for them to coalesce. So it's like kind of like near the border of those two areas. And on the coast, Leoric is getting some. He's got some stuff he's got to deal with on the island, or in the city there. A lot of restocking, a lot of preparation for himself, because he doesn't know the next time he's going to be in town, basically. And basically on the last day, he tries to leave, but a horrendous storm hits. And he is unable to leave at all. However, there is a turtle man, a nice turtle, a young turtle boy, in a really small rickety boat that's basically parked in the dock next to him, that he has been bothered by every single day in, day out. Every time he leaves and goes and comes, he gets talked to by this turtle, and he basically during the storm sees that the turtle is out there, unfazed, tries to be nice and invite him in. He does not let up and says, "No, that's not why I want to be on your ship." And basically the two of them sit through the storm together out in the rain for the entirety of the night, and he finally accepts him as a student and invites him on the ship, and that's where we meet Kala. So if Kala wants to describe himself.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this to be loud enough. But he's a dark green turtle, about 5'11", with some rounded spikes pointing up, and he's got a turtle skull tied to his shell, along with a dagger tied to the left side with ornate carvings on it and a blue green gem in it. It has some leather bands on with the same kind of gem and the same kind of carvings. And
Oh, really? Sorry, I just saw the stream. So this is really funny. I just want to pause right now. Oh, there you go. See, yeah. So you like there's a pop sound, and you were really loud finally, and then it completely disappeared, and you were unbelievably muted, and I have you at max volume.
I agree. I can't hear you at all. I'm trying to write down what your character looks like.
After that pop, it just went downhill.
Yeah. Are you using a phone or or a headset? What is your audio situation?
I'm using a headset.
Oh, see, you were there again. Very quiet, but
Cyrus. Do it. Leoric.
That's wild.
Let's see. If I just put the mic
Oh
in
my
my
God.
mouth.
If you
Pops all
do,
the
yeah.
time.
If you're just choking on the mic all night,
Just
we can
deep throat
absolutely
it.
hear
Just
you.
deep
Yeah.
throat it. Just do it.
Okay, so what I heard was you have your mother's skull tied around one of the spikes on your shell, and you have a thick leather bracelet with a gem in it.
Yeah, he's got some leather bands on his arms with like bracelets with ornate carvings and some blue-green gems in them. He's got a dagger tied to his left side with the same kind of carvings and gem on the hilt. And his mom's skull is tied to one of the like rounded spikes. And he's about 5'11", like blue-green, really big hands with spikes, webbed fingers. He's got like stubs for feet, like a medium-sized beak. No real discernible markings or anything.
Cool. Basically, Leoric also gives you a stack of books and tells you to read them.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah, well, he still hands it to you and tells you to read them. That's step one. How do you all think you'd interact? Now you have a half elf, an Eladrin, and another half elf, and now you have a turtle.
Endien would be interested in the turtle instantly because he's a beast.
Yeah.
I
ask
can
about
like
homeland stuff.
describe my background. I'm sorry. He was born on an island, and his mom and dad were dying after he hatched, as turtles do. And about
As things go.
a week in, there was a massive storm on the island, and his mom and dad hunkered down in the doorway to the house, and his dad was too weak and got swept up by the storm, and they never saw him again. But when the storm broke in the morning, the island had receded by about 75%, and the only way off the island was completely gone. About like a year after he was born, his mom had died, and the only thing he'd known was the island, so he had no way to know how to get off at all. And so he just survived on the island, and every year a storm came, and eventually he just started to enjoy the storms and feel invigorated by them. And on his 20th year, there was another massive storm, even bigger than the one at his birth. And it sucked all the water away, revealing the way off the island, and he knew that this was his time to leave.
All right, cool. Yeah, and that's when he, boated off and arrived at that country where he was not allowed access because he had no identification. Until now, Leoric has given him a new chance at life. So he hands you the books. How would other people interact with Kala?
Marco would take a lot of interest in the markings on his bracelets and why he's carrying around what Marco can identify as a turtle skull. So Marco will try and kind of look and observe, and instead of observing to be like he's doing with Silas, he'd kind of more he'd try and sketch down what the markings around Kala's bracelets and start researching on a separate time about gems and if gems have power, what their meanings could be in certain religions. So Marco, I spoke with Silas.
He's trying to steal my identity, dude! Identity stuff!
It's a crime, Jim! It's a crime! saw it on the stream, and my brain just fucking died. But no, so he's just trying to see if he can like piece together something about Kala without having to like confront him just yet. Marco's just trying to steal everybody's identity.
How would actual Silas interact?
I'd basically try to get to know Kala. Be friendly, just chat it up. Hopefully, it won't be the same experience as Endien's little chat.
She's just
already
curious.
off the bat insulting me.
Asking you why you live.
See, that's why you just gotta run away, man. It's bad news bears. Or goes out.
She's just curious.
How does Kala interact with that?
Oh, I'm just gonna, say hi and be nice to him.
What's up, dude?
Sorry. Drinking
Yeah,
some
this is
white
probably
claw.
like this is outside of your family and the guard and Leoric. This is like the most social interaction you've ever had.
Yeah, these are pretty much the only people I know.
Yeah. And two of them are named Silas. So that's crazy. So that's crazy. Yeah, you basically. So after a few
Silas
days,
the one and Silas the original.
yeah. After a few days, the airship stops. Basically anchors high above what is like a deserty area. Yeah, this is a probably not. You don't normally just stop for places because you guys are usually traveling mostly day. It's middle of day. If you're gonna stop, it's usually at night or out of town. There's no town here. There's a lot of like mountainous areas. Not like a full mountain, but like you've got like plateaus and you've got like just a lot of rocky, like giant stalagmites. I don't know the actual term for this. Just like a very craggy place.
Can Marco look at a map and like know where is this in relation to like where he started? Is it like north or south? Is it like a country or is it no man's land? Can he kind of glean that or?
If you'd paid attention throughout the trip, and like kind of like the directions you've been going, you know that you are more southeast from where you were, and you're in probably like more outlands of like the Beastlands. You're probably like somewhere in the Beastlands. But it doesn't look like it's populated.
Okay.
Is Leoric on deck?
Yeah, he's just he's out on deck. He's suntanning.
Oh,
What a Chad.
Oh, so
okay.
that's why we
Yes, son.
stopped. Okay.
Oh yeah. So Leoric appears to be in his like late 40s. He kind of wears like a 5 o'clock shadow, like just scruff, not like an actual, not like a full beard, not like a trimmed beard, but just like basically he just like lets it go a little bit. He's got like he's got like an ashy brown hair color. Doesn't look like he looks like he perpetually has like bedhead. Like he doesn't like comb it or brush it or anything like that. He's a little bit tanner, probably just from his constant adventuring. But yeah, he's out there suntanning.
I'm gonna go walk up to Marco.
Marco
Are you
kind of.
still looking at your map?
Yeah. So Marco's just kind of looking at a map, like making sure he knows the ship's whereabouts. Like you can kind of see him with a little notebook on the side, marking down, okay, well, we've been here, this is the information we got at this place, this is the people we met, this is what I know about this person. He's kind of been marking down that stuff. So right now he's just going through the various books that Leoric has given him, and various books he's kind of scrounged around on ship to try and see and figure out if there's anything important about where we're going over, anything interesting, since this is the first time he's just seen so much. So
Can I tell he stresses a lot?
Let's see here.
Okay.
Slightly. I mean, you probably don't really know. I'm looking at your passive insight, and it's an 11. So you can tell that there's something up with it. You don't know to the degree that he's stressing out right now.
I think
He might just seem nervous, but you don't realize just how stressed he is.
No,
Marco
just
keeps hunched shoulders.
Just as a is he just naturally anxious all the time? Because I've seen him skitter around.
Well, he runs away from Endien constantly.
I guess based off your passive insight, I'm gonna say you, as a person, as far as you can tell, it might just be the situation you're in. You don't know if that's a normal.
Oh, okay, I can go off of that. I'm gonna walk up behind him, put my arm over his shoulder, and I'm like, Marco, I think your time's up, bud.
Endien look up
Silas.
from her book. Does Endien hear that?
I overheard the orc that he needs to go out there, dude. He needs to go out in the dunes and survive out there for a week.
Well, I'll say it's more of a hard desert than a soft desert.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you whispering that, or?
I'm whispering it.
Okay.
Give me a stealth check.
Stealth check? Okay.
Yeah.
Stealth is that. Oof.
What'd you get?
Got a 9.
A 9. Endien, yeah, you can hear it.
As soon as she hears him say, "Your time is up."
In fact, Kala, if Kala's around, Kala could also hear
She
it.
just hears your time is up. Oh my gosh, he's dying.
She'll look up and say, "Already? I didn't think half-elf lifespan was that short."
Marco is just kind of you can kind of feel him shaking a little bit, and he's super confused. He doesn't know what to do. He's just his hands are in the air, and he's listening to you, but he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if he should put his hands down and start writing what you're saying, or just keep them up. It's just kind of he's getting interrogated by the police.
Are you visibly shaking?
You feel him shaking. I feel because
Okay.
you have your arm around him, so he's not visibly, but it's just kind of you feel him tense.
I give Endien a confused look. I go back to Mark. I'm like, you okay?
Am I okay?
Are you okay?
If you say I'm okay, I think I'm okay.
I don't know. Are you okay?
This is the rest of the session.
It's just those who are repeating in a loop.
He looks at Silas and he's like, I think I'm okay. And he puts down his hands and he hovers over, he goes back to his writing position. He's like, I'm okay. Yes, I am okay.
Silas cuts you off there. He just he pats you on the head and walks off.
Marco's super confused. He's what is the why did that happen? What?
Endien will just this is what it's like to face mortality, isn't it?
After he walks away, I'm gonna walk up to Marco and say, "Are you okay?"
Marco kind of goes, I've been asked that a lot in the past minute, but yeah, I'm fine. I'm just doing my work like Leoric told me to, so I believe I am in prime condition. That's it, yeah, prime condition. He tries to act like he knows the adventuring terms, because he read it in like he read like certain words in books and whatever. He's like, yes, this is how normal people sound like. Cool people.
I'm just gonna nod and go back to my book.
Well, that's happening. I'm gonna walk up to Leoric.
Okay.
I'm basically just like stand right next to him and be like, so I think Marco is about to have another panic attack.
Another? What was the first one?
Huh? Okay.
So, any reason why we're stopped by here other than your suntan?
Yeah, actually, this is, where we're starting your training.
Oh. What kind of training?
To be a librarian?
I've got with that. But
he's got like sunglasses and he's like got them lifted as he's looking up at you.
Yeah.
And he like basically just puts them down and then like looks back out towards the horizon as he's suntanning some more.
Does he have a sunglasses tan?
No.
Does he have like the lines on the? Aww. It's funny. There's the lines on the side of his face.
No, he balances it out by sometimes he'll suntan with like a black suit that covers everything but his eyes. No. No, he's just outdoors enough that it doesn't make a tan line.
So are you like like Silas or why I keep reading Silas on screen and then I keep saying Silas and then Silas talks and I keep saying Silas. God. I'm just trying to steal your identity at this point. So Marco, being concerned about why people keep asking him if he's okay, like, you know, sees after Kala goes, and like, you know, after Kala's talked to him, he kind of watches as Silas walks out the door and talks to Leoric, and he kind of walks and follows and peeks out the door and, you know, overhears a conversation. Because I don't think they're being secretive, right? They're not like whispering the conversation, or are they?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Silas kind of goes over. My God, what are you saying? Silas?
Wait. I need you to say Marco 5 times in a row right now.
Marco.
Okay,
His
that's your
Marco.
That's your name.
Marco. His name is Marco.
Would it help you if you stopped looking at the screen where it says Silas?
I'm literally turning around.
Look at your character sheet.
I'm not looking at. I'm not looking at the stream anymore. I'm going. It's just light. It's bright blue, so I keep looking at it. It's terrible. I'm like a fucking bird. I'm like, oh, pretty. So
I mean,
Marco.
He is pretty.
So Marco watches as Silas and Leoric are talking, and so he's just gonna wait until Silas leaves, like from Leoric's side, to ask Leoric kind of the same, like, or to tell Leoric that he's like basically almost done with his studies, I assume, because like that's all Marco does is study, so he's kind of like efficient at getting through books.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Is the suntan lotion still there?
He doesn't have suntan lotion.
What are we reading in these books, by the way?
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. 13.
13? There's just a lot of different, like, things about countries, about, famous explorers, things people have already discovered. It's like such a general spread of information.
Like reading a high school history book, essentially.
Basically, yeah. But it's like each section is a different book he's out of the stack he gave you. Okay.
Yeah, so Marco's in his element there. Marco's like, yeah, I do this every day. This is good.
So yeah, he doesn't use suntan lotion.
So I'm gonna go up to Leoric and say, are we just gonna sit up here all day?
Oh, you guys want to actually train, or? I've been waiting for. He looks at his wrist where he doesn't have a watch. I've been waiting on for weeks for someone to actually ask to do something.
Well, yeah, I'm ready.
You're the teacher.
All right. And you said Marco. What it was Marco asking about? Oh, because she's almost done with the books.
Yeah, so Marco was just kind of waiting because he didn't want to interrupt Leoric and Silas, so he was kind of waiting by the door. And
just
he
waiting
sees
for you. Okay.
Kala walk out and like ask the question he was gonna ask, and he's like, "Okay, cool, thanks for doing that." He like kind of like does a hit. He's like, "Oh man, I was gonna speak up for once. Oh dang it!" But he's kind of secretly glad that he didn't actually have to confront Leoric.
So he stands up. He's like, "All right, Silas, Kala, come with me." And then he starts leading you two to a basically what's like a like an open, not like a gym, like it's got like a padded floor and it's got like it's kind of like a gym type area, like you would do like usually those like kind of side rooms where you might do like group exercise or something like that. So he leads you to one of those rooms. It's like, all right, and on the way he like grabs his stuff, he puts it on. He's got like a cape. He's got some like, shoot, how did I describe him? Yeah, he's got like a cape. He's just got like a nice like billowy shirt that he doesn't keep fully buttoned, and he's just got like some pants and boots. And he leads you guys to this training room. And as he's passing by, he doesn't even look at Endien or Marco.
Can Marco follow after them? Because like he heard what was going down. So Marco like it's like if they're not gonna acknowledge me, like I'm not gonna like join in or anything unless they like but I get forced to join in. But he's gonna like trail after them to just see what they're doing. He's just like, oh, this is new.
Endien is getting to the point too where she's not fully into the books. She's more like she's been looking outside. If there is holes or windows in the ship where she's at, I don't know if there were or not.
Yeah.
But as they pass by, she would wake up near her to go follow him because he was just sleeping.
So as the two of you are like lurking, are you guys just lurking outside the room?
No, I think Endien would just like very blatantly follow.
So Marco is just kind of like by the door, like watching Silas and Kala and Leoric. Like he like stops at the door. Marco doesn't go further than like kiss him. It's kind of like if I enter the room, I'm entering their space unwanted. So he just stands at the doorway, kind of like observes, doesn't intrude or anything. But he's like there. He's not running away. He's not hiding.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys are what?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm gonna see Marco crouching, like hovering in the door, and like wave him in.
If Kala does that, then Marco kind of skitters on in, like crouched over. He doesn't have any of his books with him. He doesn't have Celestian with him, so his frame seems even smaller because usually it's like bulked up with all the stuff he's carrying. Yeah. So you just kind of see him like, follow up and stand kind of.
So Leoric, he walks into the room. He sets down like a bag, in his cape, and he turns around and he sees two extra people in the room than what he invited. He basically looks at the two of you confused. And what are you two doing here?
How have we been addressing him? Just by his name or like with a title?
Either, I guess that's up to you. Either Captain or Leoric or something like that, or like Mr. Salvador or whatever. I guess it depends on you specifically how you've been addressing him.
Well, Captain Salvador, I was interested to see in the going-ons of my classmates. And also wondering how long we would be talking in her current position. Or anchored in our current position, I guess, because we're not at a dock.
Marco follows him. He's like, I was coming to tell you that I have basically finished up all the readings, especially since it was similar to what my parents had me reading before. And I was coming to ask you if there was anything else to progress my librarian training. And I got waved in here by Kala, so, yeah. He's kind of like, yeah, he's not. He's like, Sir Salvador, sir.
When he says my name, I'm just gonna wave.
Interesting. It's surprising it's taken you guys this long to have any initiative. Claw here's been on the ship for 3 days, and he finally asked to do training. So I guess I'm confused, because it seemed like you guys wanted to sit there and actually read the books that I gave you. And he looks at
you see Marco wince. Marco winces like, oh, was I not?
Lesson 1. You don't need to listen to authority. You should be questioning what you're being told. You should, if you just ran around and did what life told you to do, you wouldn't discover anything. Basically. So I've been sitting here waiting for, he looks again at an imaginary watch, almost about a month now for someone to actually want to do their training, but instead it looks like you've all just been reading.
I'm sorry, I was trying to learn how to.
No, Kala, you, it's only been a few days and you've immediately asked to actually do something. You're fine.
Out.
I do not like being up this high.
Oh, well, you're gonna want to stay up here, because I'm sure the drop is deadly. Yeah, so I guess, step 1, or lesson 1, you need initiative. I kind of looked at you guys, each of you, students I've taken in, and, I accepted you because there's a spark of initiative in your eyes, but it's been a real disappointing flight so far. I expected to start training well before actually arriving here, but you guys showed 0 initiative until now. It's very surprising, honestly. So I guess I'm gonna have to give you an alternative second step, to see if you're actually interested in doing this, or if I should just send you all home now. Well, I mean, everyone but Kala here. Kala's immune from that. He seems to be good. Raise your hand if you think you are going to go out and make a name for yourself and become the hero, or become someone, a nice standalone figure in history that people are going to look at and say, wow, I want to be like that guy too.
Endien will raise her hand.
Okay. Is that it?
Marco's arms kind of his hand fiddles a little bit, and he starts you could see him trying to muster up the strength to raise his hand, but eventually he kind of deflates and holds his fist together, because right where he is right now, he knows that he can't do that, and so he's he's very thinking in the moment. He's like, I want to take that initiative, I want to do that, but logically thinking, where I am right now, I cannot say that I can do that, because I need to work on myself more before I can do that. So that's my end goal, but right now it's unattainable. So I don't feel like I don't have the honor, I don't have the pride enough to do that.
Okay. So he sees you tentatively and then drop your hand, but he sees Endien just very confidently raises her hand. And he nods to himself, and then he pulls out a cell phone. And then he opens it up, and he makes a call. You can start the drop now. And then he hangs up, and give me... You guys all... Something feels weird, right? It feels like... So when you're on the airship, you're going with the same momentum, right? You barely even notice you're traveling.
No.
However, it feels different now, and it feels as if you're a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter, and you realize that the ship is dropping out of the sky, like straight down.